So
Let me let me say it a different way.
Okay.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, there's a name for them. We call them poor. Okay.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk about money. So, what Saylor means when he talks about a store of value. So, let's talk about three properties of money. First of all, it is a medium of exchange. I believe that is pretty straightforward. Second of all, is a unit of account. And the third one is a store of value. So, let's talk today briefly about what exactly store of value is. Store of value, we could say that. Money is a store of value because it preserves it preserves its value over time, right? Like, imagine I have a $1 bill. 100 years ago I could, in example, buy a loaf of bread for it, right? And in the next 100 years I also can buy a loaf of bread. That would mean that this $1 bill is a store of value, right? But well, it's actually not the case because we know from multiple sources, like some sources say it is a little bit less, some sources say it's a little bit more, but we can assume that for the last 100 years, the average inflation rate in the United States, so inflation of the dollar, was on average 7.5%. That means that the dollar lost around 99.9, some say 99.7, like depending on the calculation, you can do the math, but in general, it's something around 99.7% of the value of the dollar got lost over these 100 years. So we cannot really say that a dollar is a good store of value. Is it a store of value? I don't think so. Like, compared, for example, to gold, gold blows the dollar out of the water, right? Like, you can even take a look at this chart where you compare gold price, so how much you got to pay for a gold ounce compared to the dollar. And in general, for the ounce of gold back in the 19, what is it, like 1920, 1930, you could buy basically almost the same stuff you can buy like today, right? I believe someone's made such a calculation, like, yeah, for like 1 gold ounce you can buy this amount of rice, and nowadays and that was in 1920, and nowadays in 2020, like, you can basically, for 1 ounce of gold, you can buy basically like the same amount. Like, the reality is that the real source of inflation is printing money. In a long term, the inflation relies on how much we dilute the supply of money. So effectively, what does it mean for you? For you, it means that you cannot really store a value in form of money on your bank savings account. It doesn't really make sense. If you make your money in dollar and you're not getting on your saving accounts like more than 7.5%, you're basically losing money. Your government is basically, by printing the money, is bleeding you to death. And this is the biggest problem that we currently have in a monetary system, that the politicians and the banking system is out of control. They control the system by printing more money, and effectively they're making people poor. People who own fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. It's because rich people do not store their value in a dollar, in a yen, in a euro, in Polish zloty. They store their value into multiple assets, into usually in a diversified portfolio of assets.
Okay. Anybody that's rich in the world, they own property. They own large swathes of land. The royal family of England, it didn't sell all of its property in central London in order to buy, currency or paper money.
Stop saving your money in your bank account. Think about an asset that can better preserve value than US dollar or whatever local currency you're using, because dollar is the reserve currency, right? And whatever currency you are using is possibly diluting, inflating even more per year than the dollar is. So my take from this is study gold, study Bitcoin, keep your money safe from the banking system, log yourself out with gold and Bitcoin.
In fact, they want to own the property forever. I want you to imagine Bitcoin is it's a city in cyberspace that's 276 blocks wide, 276 blocks high, 276 blocks deep, about 21 million blocks. Now imagine all 8 billion people in the world want to live there one day.
If you like this clip, leave a comment, leave a like or dislike. Thank you so much for watching.